This is the Gamecock Corner, brought to you by Randy Jones and Associates, your hot spot for everything you need to know about Jacksonville State football. Time to get the scoop on this week's matchup with your host, Shane Wilson, and the legendary voice of the Gamecocks, Mike Parris.
Welcome into the Gamecock Corner, another week of talking JSU football with the guy who has been doing it for more than 4 decades, and he knows his stuff, and he got to see the glorious homecoming victory over the weekend. So let's talk about that. Let's talk Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Let's do that with Mike Parris. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Shane. How are we doing?
Hey, doing great. Hey, I was telling you earlier off the air, I saw a video of the light show you guys have in Jacksonville now. That is some kind of spectacle.
Let's just say it's a whole lot different than it used to be at Burgess No Field with some of the stuff we do these days. Yeah, this is the first year we've had it, just added it during the off season, and our first home game under the lights this year. So it's the first time really we've got to experience it, and it was quite the show, I'll put it like that. So, in fact, during halftime, they cut the lights, and I guess they went with the red lights at that point in time. But the 20 J's, I guess, was who it was, the tuba section with the Southerners when they were doing their halftime performance. When they turned around to the crowd, then they had some kind of lights outlining the around the rim of the horns there. So it was all kinds of different stuff going on the other night.
Yeah, that's going to be really sweet getting to watch the rest of the year for some of those midweek home games. But now let's talk about homecoming. Let's talk about Murray State. Now, obviously, homecoming games are games that you are supposed to win. So JSU went out and took care of business there. And there are also games where maybe you can tell if a team has made progress, maybe you can't. But did you think overall that what were some areas where you thought maybe these guys definitely improved in spite of the competition?
I think our offensive line continues to improve. They've come a million miles really since week 1 against Central Florida and continue to get better. And we started a true freshman at left tackle, so we rushed for 329 yards. And, Murray State, nothing against them. That's an opponent we're supposed to beat because they're an FCS program. But we went out and as you said, we did take care of business. And I thought the O-line was good. I thought at times defensively we were outstanding. Our pass defense, very good. Picked up a couple of picks, a couple of interceptions. Guys made terrific plays on those. So, and Cam Cook continues to impress at running back. I think every week we see something different from him, or at least we have through the first 4 weeks, and hopefully that continues this week.
Yes, indeed. Well, any individuals that stood out to you that you haven't mentioned already?
Well, I'll start with Cam Cook. He's number 3 in rushing right now in the country in rushing yards, total rushing yards, and also number 3 in yards per game. I think he's averaging right around 134 yards per game. He had another 100-yard game, his 3rd in a row. I thought he was good. Brock Rechsteiner made some plays, wide receiver. He had a touchdown grab. And the interceptions, Walker Osteen, Trevor Woods, those guys. And Osteen is the guy that's just going to get better. I think he and Max Sanders, a true freshman, are leading tacklers. Each of those guys was 6. So those were some of the guys that stood out in my mind from Saturday's win.
All right. Well, let's move on to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, which is where you guys are headed on Saturday to take on the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Now, I think it goes without saying, this ain't Brett Favre's Golden Eagles we're talking about here. It's not even some of the teams that have been competitive against other schools from Alabama. So they're 2-2. Now, obviously, one of those losses was against a Mississippi State team, which has overachieved a bit early, but then they also suffered one more loss. What do you know about them, and how do you expect Jacksonville State to take them on?
Well, I will put it this way. They're much better than they were last year. That may have been in 2024 the worst Southern Miss team in my lifetime. I don't know. They just didn't have a whole lot of talent, and coaching change. Charles Huff has come from Marshall, and I don't know if you call it Marshall South or Marshall 2.0, but a lot of guys came with him from Huntington, West Virginia. They won the Sun Belt last year, and then he takes the job at Southern Miss, and a bunch of those guys went with him. And I think one thing they're playing with more emotion, more reckless abandon maybe they were playing with last year. I think they're going to be more talented. You mentioned they're 2-2. I thought they played Mississippi State pretty good in that first game. And Louisiana Tech, who's in our league, beat them Saturday by a 30-20 count. And that was a tight game, I think, most of the first half, and turned around maybe early in the second half. So we're on the road. First time we've been over there since 1946 to play at their place.
Wow.
So it'll be a little different. Just the 4th all-time meeting between Jacksonville State and Southern Miss. In fact, it was so long ago we were there, I think the school at that time was known as Mississippi Southern, was what it was known as at that time. So, we'll have our hands full looking for that first road win of the year, too. So that would be big if we can get out of there with a W.
That would be very nice. Well, you'll be taking over our airwaves again at 5 o'clock on Saturday with kickoff at 6. Happens here on 102.9 WKXX. And we will talk with you again about it in the Gamecock Corner 1 week from today. It's brought to you by Randy Jones and Associates. Mike, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you, sir. Enjoyed it.
Hi, I'm Randy Jones, your hometown trusted choice insurance agency. Randy Jones and Associates knows the playing field, and we have been proudly serving communities across North Alabama for 46 years. Having the right protection on the field is important. The RJA team of experienced agents will help you find affordable, customized insurance coverage for your family, business, and future. Stop by a local Randy Jones Associates office for a free, no-obligation quote or complimentary policy review.